Hola, mi gente. Good morning. It's 9 a.m. I know gay people and an LGBTQ plus Kiki at 9 in the freaking morning. Whose idea was this? It was mine. That's why I'm still in bed. See, with my ladybug. Me, you know who I am. I'm FayWhat. And this program was created by Hotspots Happening Out. The FayWhat show is America's first LGBTQ plus morning show, and I'm broadcasting live and also available on demand. In 2025, our Hotspots magazine celebrates 40 years of documenting the LGBTQ plus experience. It's the largest publication of its kind in Florida and one of the oldest in America. Happening Out Television Network's Queer News Tonight is celebrating 5 years with 10,000 stories and more than 10 million views in 2024. Hotspots Happening Out will be producing some of the most incredible LGBTQ plus events. Next, we have the summer's Red Hot Pride Fest is coming up on August 9th, and we can't wait. Also, Pride Fort Lauderdale will be here before you know it in February 2026. In the same model of PBS and NPR, we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ plus community. It's Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. Oh my God, it's almost August. We have lots of fun things to talk about, so come on, let's go.
Rainbows, gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
Let's get to the big interview on the FayWhat show, the only show where we spill the queer tea, baby, from my bed, right? I mean, where else would the queer tea be than in my bed? So today we're joined by a powerhouse who is turning wellness into a mobile revolution. And I mean literally rolling through town like a lesbian Batwoman. All right, that is what this woman is doing. Please welcome the founder of J WolfPaX and the woman behind the Wolf Den Mobile Wellness Lounge, Jessica Woolverton. Yay!
Yay!
Jess, I'm sorry. One day I'll have an audience. Right now, you've got to be your own audience. All right. So, yay! Yes! Welcome to my bed, Jess.
Yes, thank you for inviting me to your bed.
Thank you so much for being here. So let me just start by saying I love your freaking last name. Okay, like Woolverton. I was like, am I gonna have like Wolverine in bed with me, right? Like, just I mean, like, have you gotten that nickname?
It's been a nickname.
Shut up!
Wolfie, Wolvie, Wolverine. It's been all of it. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, I love me some Wolverine, so I wouldn't be mad like being referred to as it, right? I mean.
No, he's hot, number one.
Thank you.
And sexy.
Thank
and strong.
you.
He's all the things.
Thank you. And he's got great nails. So thank you. You know. Exactly. Oh my God, how funny. Jess, how long have you been out?
I have been out since I was 15.
Oh.
15. Yep. I came out to my mom. She was the first person. She kind of asked me. She definitely asked me if I was gay instead of me going straight to her. So it's been a long time.
Oh, yeah. But kudos to your mom for asking. Like, kudos to those parents out there that, you know, because I hate hearing, I knew it. So why don't you freaking talk to the kid? You might help them get out of a tough space. You know what I mean?
They knew it when I was 2 years old. They called it.
Shut up.
And I was like, yes. And they almost like told me they kind of knew, but it wasn't like a big thing. It was just like me and my mom in my room, and I was packing to go to Halloween Horror Nights with a friend, right? And I'm packing sports pants, right? Like sweatpants, shorts, whatever. Comfy, yeah, because I like comfort. Who doesn't? And then my mom's like, well, who are you trying to impress, girls or guys? And I was like, oh, girls. And I just said it.
And
I was like, girls.
That,
yeah,
right? And you probably took you said it and then like took a breath, kind of like waiting, kind of.
Yes, my heart absolutely dropped. And there's a lot, behind that I didn't want to come out during that time because my father passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Not too long before.
So it was a lot going on, and you didn't want to give something else to your mom. But we take it as we're giving something else to them. You don't know how they're gonna receive it, and she was ready.
Right.
So she wanted to know.
She did. She was ready to know.
Oh,
And
I
so
love that
told
coming
her,
out story. And it's
"Thank
like, it's
you."
such a blessing when you're able to do that at a young age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with the current climate, I know people that are like coming out in their 80s and they're more afraid than ever. And then others that are like, F it. I'm old. I'm staying in the closet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like not even worth it at this point. All this shit, you know?
Oh my God. So Jess, you know, you're a baller because I know that you like sports. I mean, look at the bod, right? You're a healer, right?
Yes,
You're a
yes.
traveler.
Yes.
You're a lover of all things sweaty
Pretty much.
and spiritual.
And spiritual.
But before we talk about saunas and soul work, I need to know who's your sleepover spirit animal.
My sleepover spirit animal.
Yes, like an animal that you would like to cuddle with at night.
A wolf. A wolf. I want to cuddle a wolf. It's not original either. I'm like J WolfPaX, Woolverton.
No, but it's your truth. It's your truth.
I
okay?
have a wolf on my leg. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'll
So
cuddle
dope.
with a. I mean, we have a dog in
We have a
bed.
dog
They're
in bed.
descendants of
They
wolves.
are. They are. They really are.
There we
You
go.
know, like whenever I see, like, I always get stuck watching those weird animal shows,
Yeah.
right? The
Constantly.
reality shit, right? And when they like tranquilize like a big ass animal, and then like they're able to do anything to it, you know, like for a moment, I'm like,
Yes.
oh my God, I wish I was there.
Who do
I
you
wish I
want to
was
snuggle
there.
with it?
Yeah. I'd probably snuggle with everybody else. Would just yeah.
I guess it's the only opportunity to
Yes,
snuggle when
with
they're
a wolf.
Yeah, with a wolf specifically. Right. They have to be out. Yeah, they have to be out.
All right, so obviously, let's dig into the wolf den. All right, so
Yeah.
this is a 24-foot mobile oasis, cold plunges, saunas, compression. Girl, you brought the spa to the streets. All right,
Yep.
How did this idea come up?
Let me tell you, this has been a vision for like 4 years now. And
Wait a minute, 4 years. If I'm doing the math, that's like COVID.
Yes. Yeah. So I had this vision during COVID because I was going through a lot at the time, right? So I played college basketball. I played overseas, in a lot of different countries over the summers, which was amazing. And I was that athlete that was like, what's the point of stretching? Like, I don't want to stretch, coach, you know, like I just didn't take care of my body, and my mind the way that I could have been. And so I had a month sabbatical during COVID from work. And at the time I was working for a nonprofit, and it was amazing. It's a very corporate nonprofit, but burnout's really high, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk all day long about
yeah,
burnout
about
in
that.
nonprofits specifically, but, yeah, so I took this sabbatical. I went out back to Colorado because that's where I'm from, and there's a ton of hot springs out there. So I went to this one place called Orvis Hot Springs, which is in Ridgeway, Colorado, and they had sauna, cold plunge, hot tubs, all these things. And just before I left, I had just been diagnosed with ADHD and general anxiety disorder. And for me, I'm like, well, I knew this like my whole life. I was able to cope with it, but there's something missing. There's something missing. And so when I started doing the cold plunge, the sauna, and really taking care of my wellness and opening up my energy, right? Opening up my spirit, my energy, I was able to receive, right? And I'm a giver. And so for a long time, it was really hard for me to receive, because I thought I was taking.
Well, and also, yeah.
Right, I'm like, oh, I'm taking something,
Yes, I'm
but I'm
taking
not.
something. You're not. There's enough for all of us, and that's just something. That's the marginalized mentality, unfortunately, right?
Right.
It comes from being queer. It comes from being a woman. It comes from all that bullshit.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, it's okay to. You're giving, but you're not. You're depleting your own self as well.
Yep. Exactly.
So, continue,
and
I'm
people want to
sorry.
give, right?
Yeah.
Just like I want to give to people want to give to me. And so when I'm not allowing them to give to me, then I am already being a taker.
Yes.
Right? I'm already taking the opportunity away from them and the opportunity away from myself from receiving that. So, I started doing a lot of wellness during this month sabbatical, and everything shifted. My spirit, my mental health definitely shifted. And I'm like, okay, there's clearly science behind this. People have been doing this for thousands of years. What is this about? And so really digging into it and becoming an expert in the nervous system and what happens when we experience trauma, when we experience burnout, right? Or just there's a lot going on in our lives, and how do we
anxiety,
depression,
exhaustion. I mean, like, I feel like the 100 people that are working are doing the job before 400 people. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? And they're expected to.
Yeah, yes.
And then they expect themselves to perform at that level, which then will elevate and create anxiety, create a lot of different things going on in the body. And so it elevates that nervous system. So how do we, what tools do we have out there in the world that can down-regulate? And a big one is our own breath. Just our own breath, yes. Yeah. And that's what's key in a cold plunge. There's so many people, I don't know how many people you've even had in this bed. I'm not going to ask, but you know what, I don't know how many people would just be like, nope, I hate the cold. Like, already say no to it because there's a fear. Yeah.
Well, and also, we're Floridians, right? We don't even get in the water when it's too cold or too hot. Like, we're that picky, And so we're thinking cold plunge. We're thinking freezing your tuchus off, and all of that.
Right.
But I think, funny enough, right? It's supposed to help you with your mental well-being. It's supposed to help you calm the mind. But your mind is going so fast right before you go in it if you haven't begun to breathe.
Breathe. And that's what I find. So I guide people. It's not just, hey, you're going to do a cold plunge and feel great, physically and whatever. I know the background. I know about the endorphins and their neurotransmitters that are being released, what's happening. I can spot, immediately when someone is having anxiety or a trauma response in the cold plunge. And that's very real. And the reason that happens is because our nervous systems, trauma gets frozen in it, right? If we don't release our traumas, it gets frozen in our nervous system.
Like when they say the issues are in the tissues, like that?
Yep, our fascia, all of it. Yes. And everything's connected.
Wow.
Everything's connected. So it's okay. The cold plunge actually will elevate your nervous system, but then it down regulates and you use your breath and you can, the studies are out there. Heart rate goes down, dopamine increases by 250%, serotonin by 250%, and norepinephrine, which is like adrenaline, by 530% after 3 minutes.
Wow.
And then it reduces it. And then you want to talk about the other physical parts, like reduces inflammation, burns a ton of calories, just warming back up. And it goes on and on.
My wife has rheumatoid arthritis pretty severely.
Yeah.
And so she has talked about the different saunas and how good they are for different, and she's also a nurse, the cold plunge, how that is different. And she's also said that it does elevate your heart rate, but it's a temporary thing.
Yep.
It goes right back down for anybody who's worried about that kind of stuff. But also talk to your doctor first, if
always.
always have some kind of, first of all, you should have a doctor that you can talk to, right? LGBTQ plus people, find a doctor who is also LGBTQ plus savvy. They could be an ally, but they could be savvy about things that we need that other people don't,
Absolutely.
But how did this all end up mobile though, Jess? All this is incredible. And the fact that you're there standing next to somebody, right? Because I'm thinking about trauma responses, right? For me, I come from a Puerto Rican Colombian family and they thought that it was smart to teach me how to swim by throwing me in the ocean, right?
Right.
All that did was give me trauma.
Right. And there's fear of water now.
Thank you.
Right. And so how do you even overcome that and come to a cold plunge, and we'll get that over. And I have a lot of people in recovery who actually do come and really enjoy doing this because it's an overcoming. It's a challenge that is already being overcome every day. And how do you continue overcoming the back end of the why, right? Why did I get to this point? And how can I heal myself, right? How can I heal? And so going back to your question around the mobile sauna, for me, being a nonprofit, my background's in social work. I have a master's in social work. Access and prevention is something I'm really passionate about, right? So I'm like, how can I build this thing that's never been done? Saunas have been done in trailers before. I won't take credit for that. But the way that I have everything laid out, how can I make this accessible for every single person? Nonprofits, running clubs, cycle races, corporate wellness, right? That's a big one.
Yeah, corporate runs, all of that.
All of it. And just overall corporate wellness, right? And the return on investment, the ROI of just bringing me in for a half a day, how much that actually will boost performance. It just goes on and on.
Think about it. Employers, right? If your employees are not well, then they're not going to perform to where you need them to, right? And period, you know. And mental health is tricky. I mean, because there's so many components to it, right? Like, I still go to meetings. I still go to AA meetings after 10 years. I need it. I still have my therapist that I talk to once a week. I think it's important, right? For everybody to have someone to talk to. You were diagnosed with things that are very common that people have all the time, but people are afraid to talk to. You're here live on a camera saying, hey, I was diagnosed with ADHD and I had to figure out what to do next.
Right. And how to navigate it, all of it, everything, society, my job, creating a new business, which again, like, don't have a background in business. However, right?
However, I'm queer, so I'm going to start a business.
Right, I'm going to start a business and get lots of grants. No.
That's not easy.
It's not.
And that's easy to say, but it's also not easy to implement.
Right, and it's the passion. For me, it's like, it's purpose and passion, the healer, the healing connection, and just raising the frequency, right? Like, and I mean, we can talk all day again about like where we're at as a society and as a community, and it's a low vibration, right? We're actively in a very low vibration, and people are struggling.
It's true.
Even energetically, without knowing what's going on. Well, the energy is affecting you that is going on in the world right now, right? And how are you taking care of yourself than to outwardly take care of others, or your job, or your animals, or whatever it is,
or your crew, or you know, we've seen cold plunges in a lot of different places, and it's usually like in some kind of in a spa at a corner there, and you're like, oh, that's the cold plunge. Let me go in, you know. But most people don't know, right? Exactly what it can do, the positive of it, right? Et cetera. What is something that people get totally wrong about cold plunge?
That's a great question. That they can get like hypothermia from it, right? And I'm not saying that they can't. It depends on the temperature. And that's the other thing. There's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of people, it's very trendy to do a cold plunge. But jumping into a cold plunge that's like 37 degrees, especially for women, right, is detrimental. It actually causes too much of a shock on your body, and it releases too much cortisol, right? And all these things in our bodies, our hormones. So keeping the temperature at anywhere between 50 and 59 degrees, you're going to receive all the same benefits, right? So you don't have to go into a cold plunge that's filled with ice, because mine aren't. I have no ice. I have chillers that actually have a double filtration system and keep the water
at that temperature that you want.
Yep, exactly.
But see, that's different. Doing this with someone that is a trained professional, that knows their shit, that is watching, that knows your trauma, that knows what you've been through, that knows what you're trying to get over, that knows your challenges, and then is there with you while you're getting this cold plunge. You know what I mean? Like, and then after, how do you feel? What's going on? You know, like all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's time to do a quick round of Say What with FayWhat. All right, so Say What with FayWhat. I basically give you a couple of options. It's a quick fire challenge, and you just answer real quick to the best of your ability. You ready?
Right, yes.
All right, here we go. Cold plunge or hot gossip?
Cold plunge.
Favorite lesbian icon?
Oh my God.
Past or present? It doesn't matter.
Oh my God. I don't want to say Ellen DeGeneres, but I'm just going to go with it because it came to mind.
Okay, you're going to say it, but fine.
I'm saying it.
Fine. Weirdest DM you've ever gotten?
I actually don't get weird DMs.
Really? You are a lucky girl.
I'm super lucky.
Like, she's super lucky because she's this pretty and doesn't get those weird DMs. I get the weirdest DMs with pictures sometimes.
Wait, what was your weirdest DM?
Oh my God. Like, oh, I saw you at this party and here's a picture of my vagina with good light.
Okay.
And they had used like it's not. I mean, I appreciate the lighting, like, because you know, like
lighting's everything.
Because lighting is important. It made the vagina look better, but it just caught me off guard because like I met them at an event and it was a professional thing, and I just didn't expect
to receive that.
Because that's why it was weird.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like, so.
But if it wasn't a professional event, it wouldn't have been weird. You're like, oh yeah, this is normal.
Here's another vagina. I mean, it's just been, it was a lucky Saturday. You know, what can I tell you?
I get lucky with that. I don't have.
She's super lucky. What's one thing you always travel with?
Headphones.
What's your go-to snack after a healing session?
Ooh. An apple. Usually.
Okay. One word your ex might use to describe you. Be nice.
Be nice?
Yes.
Okay. My ex would describe me as playful.
Okay, see? That was nice.
Joyful,
okay,
playful.
Okay. What's more likely to heal the world? Breath work or Beyonce?
That's hard question because it's beyond. How do you?
Because Beyonce might help you with the breath work, right?
Exactly. She might help you breathe.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm going to have to say Beyonce.
Okay.
Okay, it's really breath work. But
Okay,
Beyonce's
it is,
great.
but we had to say Beyonce too. All right. Well, you crushed that, and that was easy. So final stretch, all right? The Quantum Healing Summit. Tell me what folks can expect when they show up.
The Quantum Healing Summit. So Brian Crawford and I put this together, and we invite other folks who are really into wellness and spirituality, and we just give them a rundown of what we do, why it's important, the wellness aspect of it, the spirituality aspect of it, and the mental health aspect of it. So it's really like a get to know you type of event. And they get to know me, they can ask questions. It's nice.
Okay, well, see, I mean, again, and who doesn't have some kind of healing to do? You know, I mean, like, we had the message at church. I go to Unity on the Bay. It's a very queer church.
Yeah.
And, you know, our message was that, like, healing. Like, who doesn't have some kind of trauma? Who doesn't have something? And as much as we want to say, I'm working on myself or I'm doing what I can, right? You can always do more. And there's always parts that we're afraid to touch. And that's that trauma stuff that I think that your cold plunge would help with from my seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because in my mind, I'm just automatically thinking, okay, I've got this trauma. I've got it in my mind. And the cold plunge is kind of a trauma too, right? So I get to like knock them both out at once. That's kind of how I'm going to it.
Yeah.
You know, does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Is that, is that healthy to look at it that way?
Yeah, I think it's up to preference, right? So I'll go to run clubs, and then I have these athletes who just do cold plunges all the time, and they just jump in. They're already like acclimated, and they know the breath work and all of that. But oftentimes we're not talking about the mental health aspect of it, right? And sitting down with those athletes and actually guiding, and then that's what I'll grab from meeting with people. But I love the thought of, I want to overcome something. I know I can, and it might bring stuff up, but I'm going to do it anyway.
But I love it. And in such a different atmosphere.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, again, therapy is important, fellowship's important, group works are important, but this is like a one-on-one with someone who knows what they're talking about, right? I mean, it could be very transformative.
It is absolutely transformative, because you're also putting your body through the experience. And when we think about the experiences that we have in our life, it's not just in our mind, right? Like, we're not, like, talk therapy, super important. I have my own therapist, would always recommend. And when I activate my body in a cold plunge, my body is responding differently, because we hold other things down there that we might not even be aware of.
Know about, right?
So when we're talking to someone, we might not even be thinking through these things, but our body is going to show up and tell you something that you might not even know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. See all those friends of mine that are going to those weird places to get ayahuasca and shit? Don't do that. Don't do that. Go get a cold plunge.
Do a cold plunge.
I'm just saying, all right? So, folks, if you're stuck in pain or burnout or just tired of your own damn routine, the Wolf Den might be the solution for you, okay? Yeah. You can follow Jess at J WolfPaX. That's JWolfPaX is on your screens right now. And check out more about the mobile wellness movement at jwolfpax.com, right? And, you know, and folks, you know, I'm always here trying to remind you about wellness. You know, wellness is queer. All right. Like, rest is radical, and nobody heals alone. Okay. That's the final thing. Right. And sometimes, like, we feel like we have to suffer. Like, we know, like, we feel like we have to carry around that stuff. Yeah. I'm not saying that you're going to go have a session with Jess and everything's going to be fine, but I promise you and guarantee that you'll be in an elevated, better place.
100%. Guaranteed, like absolutely guaranteed, you're going to be in a better place.
Perfect. Jess, thank you so much for being on the show with me. Jess is actually going to stay with me to help me, and we're going to be talking about some fun stuff moving up, but I'm going to need for you to look into that camera and give them your best FayWhat. FayWhat! Go.
Do it again. FayWhat!
Yes, there it is. I love it. Make sure that you follow this beautiful human on all social media outlets, okay? Do yourself a favor and give yourself that little gift, okay? You never know where it might take you, and I bet you'll be sending me an email saying, thank you, Faye, for connecting me with Jess. She's a wolf for real. I just got a wolf tattoo, and thank you. All right?
I'm part of the pack.
I'm part of the pack, and that's that. All right, we'll be right back. Let's Kiki on this interesting story, and I have the beautiful Jess helping me with this story, all right? So, Bob the drag queen did not hold back when calling out California Governor Gavin Newsom for cozying up to anti-LGBTQ extremist Charlie Kirk. On MSNBC's The Weekend, prime time, Bob said, quote, speaking to Charlie Kirk is never a good idea, end quote. And let's be real, she's right. Kirk has always been calling out gay as an error and transgender people as an abomination. So why did Newsom invite him as the first guest on his new podcast? Worse, Newsom agreed with Kirk on trans athletes pushing a narrative that's hurting real people. Bob was clear, quote, no one who actually knows a trans person would ever go around saying and doing these things, end quote. America wasn't built by one kind of person, and it damn it sure won't survive without all of us, period. Watch this.
I will say this. No one who actually knows a trans person would ever go around saying and doing these things. And I mean actually knows. I don't mean like the trans lady who works at the gas station, or the one who walks down the street, like your partner, your children, your parents, your cousin, your best friend, like people that you see on a daily basis. And when you realize that everyone's just trying to live their life. Like literally just trying to live your life, trying to go to the bathroom, trying to have jobs, take care of their families. You know, I used to do this activism back on the street back in the day when I first moved to New York City, where I used to say, you know, homosexual is not a dirty word. And now I think people need to be reminded that transgender is not a dirty word. You know what I mean? It is a word used to describe people. It is an adjective used to describe people who are everyday parts of every life. Like queer people are literally parts of every single day. Everyone knows a queer person.
Okay, so Bob the drag queen said, nope. Newsom, don't play us like that. What are we all talking about? What do you think about this, Jess? So, I mean, like, I lived in San Francisco for a while. I know that you've traveled everywhere. I know you've been in San Francisco as well. And Gavin Newsom was the mayor when I was living there, right? And I used to, when I would see him anytime, I would scream out the window, I love you, you know. You know, straight cisgendered white man, but ally, like in every single way. And so then he becomes the governor. And I'm like, yeah, we have somebody in our corner in that office, you know? And then now does little things like this that kind of worry us. You know what I mean? I mean, I get it. Free speech. You're allowed to put whoever the hell you want on your show. But it makes some of us in the community feel kind of weird, you know? You know, trans athletes in sports has been such a hot topic. You know, you're a sport. You're a sport.
Thank you.
You're a whole damn
I'm
sport,
a whole
girl.
sport now.
She's a whole sport. You're an athlete. You've been an athlete. You know that mindset of an athlete. I think that there's like five trans athletes that are even fighting to play in women's sports. There are not that many athletes who are doing this, but they've made this topic so big that it makes everyday people going, oh, there's men trying to play in girls' sports. No, we can't have that. I mean, how does this wash over you?
It not well. It doesn't wash over the sport well. No. Honestly, what is it, like 0.01% are trans? So to your point, like the statistics and the amount of people actually doing this. But I'm disheartened by this news, by what Gavin Newsom is saying. You know, I am a staunch advocate and ally for trans rights. And even as an athlete, and especially as an athlete, that was like my release, you know, like that was my way of coping with the world and being a part of something bigger than myself, right? I was a part of a team. And so, you know, for me, I'm like, these people deserve the same thing. If they want to be on a court with the gender that they identify with, let them be on the court. My other thing is like, you know, a lot of folks, they're taking hormones, right? They're like taking hormones that doesn't give them the same level we're talking about, like an M to F, right? That doesn't give the same testosterone and all of these. It's just fear. It's all fear-based. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. And honestly, it's disheartening that Gavin Newsom was such an advocate and starting to slowly do these things, because it makes you feel unsure, which then makes you feel unsafe.
Well, and with everybody kissing the ring, you know, with everybody kissing Trump's ring, you worry about folks like Gavin, right? Like, you know, like what happens? Maybe he's worried about his seat. Maybe he's worried about his future, right?
Absolutely.
You know, I'm a huge supporter of the trans community. You and I are not trans, so we can't speak on the experience of living as in the trans experience.
Right.
But I know that I have friends who have transitioned, and I have been there with them for their transition. And while they're taking hormones, they can't push a chair.
Right.
Okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like strong ass dudes that could not push in their chair while they were going through their transition. Again, just from my seat, this is just what I'm seeing. There's not enough data.
Right.
At the end of the day, there's not enough data, period, to show these people. You know what I mean? This is what's going on. You know?
The impact that it's having on the industry, it's like, you're the one impacting this industry at this point because you're making it this big thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, just let people play their sport.
Let people play. Just let people play. I mean, just let people live. You know what I mean? Like, trans people are just trying to fucking live. That's it.
And that's what I love that he said too, right? He was like, we're just trying to live our lives, like go to the bathroom and eat some food and like normal survival things, but trying to live our lives.
That's it. But try to do that as a trans person, okay? When you're getting your passport and your license sent to you in the mail with your dead gender, right? Like how, they're not making it any easier.
Right.
And 100%. so it hurts more when the Gavin Newsoms of the world have an anti-LGBT, an anti-trans person on their show. It just makes you go, oh, you too? Et tu, Gavin?
Yeah.
Et tu? This is an important conversation for our LGBTQ plus community. So help us tell these important stories by liking and subscribing to the FayWhat Show. Let's Kiki on this interesting story. So trans icon Laverne Cox is feeling the heat after revealing her ex-boyfriend was a MAGA Republican New York Police Department cop. I'm going to say that again. Her ex-boyfriend was a MAGA Republican NYPD cop. So it was revealed in a promo for her new one-woman show, Girl, How Did I Get Here? And fans are not laughing. Instead, many felt betrayed. The clip shows Cox reminiscing about their romance, calling it healing. After being roasted in the comments, Cox took to Instagram Live to defend herself for 53 minutes, calling the relationship beautiful and insisting she's not confused about MAGA politics. But LGBTQ plus folks weren't having it. One follower said, quote, Girl, the D can't be that good, end quote. Another comment said, quote, he voted against you, end quote. What do you think? Watch this.
My ex-boyfriend, when we met 5 years ago at the height of the pandemic, he was 26, I was 48. He is blonde-haired, blue-eyed, MAGA Republican voter who is a New York City police officer. We were madly in love. I did not develop any of these politics. I still have my own. Yeah, my ex-boyfriend was 22 years younger than me, hot MAGA Republican New York City police officer. Yeah. To hear more about that, come to my show at City Winery in New York City, July 28th. It's a Monday, show time 8 p.m.
Are you gagged? Because I'm gagged, okay? Laverne Cox's MAGA man sparks queer chaos. What are we all talking about? What you think, Jess?
Ooh.
I know.
Ooh. I don't even know where to start with this one. I appreciated her confidence in her video.
Yes. And she looked flawless.
She looked amazing.
She looked beautiful.
Yeah.
But, 5 years ago, I mean, we were talking about 5 years ago because this is when you had started your business, was 5 years ago during COVID. And we were thinking about how our mental state was during that time. Okay, how about that? I'm going to give you a point for that because it was during COVID and our mental state was not well.
Right.
We weren't around the same amount of people as we usually were. We weren't doing the same events. We weren't going out as much. Come on.
Right. Well, and I'm like, I literally don't even know because I'm the type of person like you like it, I love it. Like I'm not gonna sit and judge you, especially for your romantic relationship and what comes up during those. And what did that look like though, right? Like what was the impact for her? But I mean, she's saying it was a beautiful relationship and all these things. I don't. What do you think?
It's hard because I have straight friends, right? I have straight friends. I have straight friends who have told me that, straight single friends that have told me that dating since Trump has gotten into office has been way harder, right? That people put on their profiles that they are conservatives. Right? And literally saying Democrats don't even bother, right? Boys put that on their freaking thing, right? And so, my best friend Michelle has had to pivot as to her dating, right? Because it's okay, I cannot date someone. Oh, and she even had matched with someone who was MAGA, and unfortunately, not unfortunately, after the first day, she was like, I can't continue a relationship, even a friendship with someone who wants the rights of my best friends gone. I can't.
Right. And she's like so sure of that line, that boundary for her.
Yes. Now, this is Laverne Cox, who is our icon, who is someone we look up to, who is someone who trans people look up to.
Oh, yeah.
And go, wow, if she can do it, I can do it too. And then see her fall into that, because that's gotta be almost on the cusp of abusive behavior. Just, I can't imagine you being with someone that's high macho shit is NYPD cop.
Right. And MAGA.
And
Republican.
MAGA and Republican.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I almost fear for her.
Right. That's where I'm like, so how did they make it work in a way that's like, because I can respect and appreciate that people are going to have differences, right? And I mean, and the word MAGA and Republican, like, that's being thrown around all the time. And what is behind that, right? Because I've met a lot of people like that, and I believe in like being able to have civil conversations as much as possible.
Yes, of course.
Until they do some crazy stuff. But no, it really is important to me to be able to have these conversations. So, if they were able to find the thing, right, that created love, who else is there to step in and be like, that
doesn't work.
That doesn't work, and that's wrong because of,
or that's not right. Yeah.
And I get it, because it's like, what are his beliefs, and clearly are they strong enough to follow through with it?
Well, or is he on a self-loathing level, Jess? You know what I mean? Or is he on a fetish level? And that's a whole other level that, that's not appreciated by the trans community. You understand? So all these kind of things come into play. And then just my sexy ass bad bitch thoughts are like, that bedtime must be fucking great. Like, take it, you MAGA. Take it, you MAGA. Like, just beating on him and like calling like making him say things. Like,
ooh, so when you were saying fetish, I was like, from who? Now we're talking about all of it.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They should start an OnlyFans. She needs to stop with all this.
She looks so cute up there being like, and it was great.
And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And, and I say thank you. But you know what? It's her ex also, right? And we've all had that relationship that we shouldn't have been in, or that we stayed in a little longer than we should have.
Right.
Everyone has.
And when did she find out? When did she find out he was a MAGA Republican? There's so many unknowns.
There's so many unknowns.
That's why I'm like, I don't even know where to start.
You're right. It's too much, but still, we're both gagged.
Gagged.
Okay. And this is an important conversation for our LGBTQ plus community. Help us tell these important stories by liking and subscribing to the FayWhat Show. Let's Kiki on this interesting story. So Carla Antonelli, Spain's first out trans senator, just served a masterclass in defiance, baby. While passing through London Gatwick Airport, she proudly used a woman's restroom because she's a woman. Then went back in to wash her hands, cheekily declaring, quote, "I'm very fond of breaking the rules," end quote. Her video, soundtracked by Lily Allen's Fuck You, ended with a bold middle finger and a caption aimed squarely at J.K. Rowling that said, quote, "F Rowling," end quote. Antonelli's protest was sparked by recent UK guidance suggesting trans people be excluded from gendered bathrooms. Rowling had backed the legal case, fueling this ruling, but Antonelli wasn't having it. Watch this.
De infringir la ley. Acabo de entrar a los cuartos de baño de mi mujer, pero voy a volver a entrar porque a mí me gusta mucho infringir la ley. No, me voy a lavar las manos.
Oh, fuck you very, very much.
I love the song. Fuck you too. I love that. Spain's trans senator claps back, baby, at Rowling. What are we all talking about? I love this woman.
I want to be friends with her. I need to be friends with her. Did we see her? She was just like, doo-doo-doo, and like so happily flicking her off, giving her the finger.
and the perfect song to go with it. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
Fuck you, la la la. J.K. Rowling can suck it.
Yeah. Period.
I mean, like, how could somebody with so much, what gets me? It's like, she's got so much money, Jess. She can do so much good in the world. And instead she wants to go and target a community that is less than 1%, a community that doesn't ask for anything aside from being who they are.
Yeah.
And it's just like, she has made it her life mission to be a C word. I don't use the C word lightly.
Yeah.
Understand that I don't use that. And I'm not even going to say the word because I hate the word so much.
Sure.
but she's it.
But
Jess.
and I agree, and she just has nothing better. But why can't everyone just be like Dolly? Right?
Parton?
Like Dolly Parton.
Oh.
Like people would, and I'm saying it because like we're talking about like people who have all this money and then do good. You know, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
But she gets to be in wherever the hell she is. I don't even exactly.
Did you
Who
read
even
any
knows?
of her books? The
No.
Harry Potters and all that kind of stuff. I've never been into that. So I mean, I appreciate, and I know that like in our queer community, we love to read these books because they get us like in a fantasy world, right? Where we can be our true authentic self and sometimes that's not how your reality looks like, you know?
Right.
So we get to escape into these beautiful books, you know? And then we make them a lot of money, and then years later we find out that they're completely anti us. And it's like, but they're a part of my childhood. Like, what do I do? Hulk Hogan died. Okay? Right. He fucking died. He was a maggot. Okay? He was an awful person. He abused his wives, all right? Allegedly, whatever. I don't want to get canceled for that. But I am a kid of the 90s. I grew up with WWF. I grew up with the World Wrestling Federation and Hulk Hogan showing me how to be a good American.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
And then here we are, and we have these childhood people that come in, play pivotal roles in all these ways, and then we come to find out like this is who they are, and then we're like, oh my god, it brings you down,
right?
It brings you down.
You need a cold plunge after seeing these stories. I'm just
listen we do. Let's go cold plunge after this. But I want to be her friend. I'm like, get me on a plane to Spain. I'm gonna go and hang out. Let's go.
Right. And she's gorgeous, and I mean, like, God, people just want to use the bathroom. Like, I don't, and if you see my trans friends, you would think that they were in the opposite bathroom if they went to the bathroom that with the gender that they were born with. Okay, like, you don't want to see these hefty guys in a girl's bathroom. I promise you don't.
Right.
It's just a bathroom. Trans people have been around forever. We didn't invent we didn't invent the acronym to LGBTQIA. We didn't invent that.
Yeah.
Trans people have been around since the beginning of time. I mean, it's in the Bible. It's in history. If you just educate yourself a little.
Right. Period.
Just
educate yourself, get on it, let people live their lives, and see the good in it. Like, just, we're focused so much on all these negative things, and it's like, but there's so much good out there in the world, and there's so much goodness in this community, right? And that's where like unity and being there for each other and creating that safe space is so important.
It's so important, and that's why videos like this are so important, right? To let us know that there are people out there that are like, F you, I'm still gonna be me. I mean, this is, she's a senator, she has a seat, and like the UK is not far behind us in just anti-trans laws. There's been a lot of crime lately against our community there. It's ugly.
Yeah. It is. And so for her to go on television, or make a video rather, right? And
which these days is even more than being on television.
Exactly.
You know what I
that
mean?
gets around way faster. So I'm like, we went from Gavin Newsom, right, to doing, and then seeing this video, and then there brings that hope of like, girl, go to the bathroom, live your life.
Live your life. Go to the bathroom, right?
Yep.
I think that should be a hashtag. Go to the bathroom.
Go to the bathroom.
Live your life. Right? This is an important conversation for our LGBTQ plus community. Help us tell these important stories by liking and subscribing to The FayWhat Show. Here at The FayWhat Show, we need to help my gay boys. I mean, they are like the blood that runs through my veins because I love them. So in our segment called Dear FayWhat, I provide my expert lesbian knowledge and my vast experience as a living, breathing gay boy in a lesbian's body to help my fellow gay boys. This week, caught between trust and thirst in Fort Lauderdale sent us an email, all right? Hey, FayWhat. And person in bed. That's you, by the way. Yeah. Okay. I'm writing to you because I need some perspective from someone who's seen it all. Maybe I've seen it all. Heard it all. Okay. And tells it like it is. That part I do. All right. So here's the situation. I've been dating this guy for about 2 months. He's thoughtful, emotionally open, and honestly, one of the first guys I've connected with in a long time. But there's one thing I can't shake. His ex. Oh, no. They're still close. Oh, no. Like brunch on Sundays close. Oh, hell no. They text often, and he still likes all his ex's posts, including the shirtless thirst traps and those deep miss this day throwbacks. Ew. Ooh. I've asked him about it, and he says they're just friends and there's no need to worry. But something in my gut feels unsettled. I'm not trying to be controlling. I want to be the guy who trusts and respects boundaries, but I also don't want to ignore red flags just because I want this to work so bad. So here's my question. When does friendship with an ex cross a line? Am I being insecure, or is it fair to want some distance between him and his past if we're trying to build something real? Signed, caught between trust and thirst in Fort Lauderdale. Oh, baby. Listen, trust your gut, okay? And this is so interesting that we've got this question for us today, and there's two lesbians answering this, because it's usually me and a gay boy, right? And usually when it's me and a gay boy, I say, you know, lesbians have the bad habit, okay, let's just say, of staying best friends with their exes, okay? Most of the girls I've dated, or most of the lesbians I'm friends with, they still are avid friends with their exes, and their small crew is usually, oh, she's my ex, and she's a friend from school, you know? And that's where I'm different, right? And that's probably where I dated men for some time, you know? But boys bored me. A blowjob and a sandwich, and you guys were good, right? Girls drive me crazy and make my heart beat that much faster, and that's how, you know, I ended up where I ended up, right? Okay, so... Point being that, you know, and when I tell other lesbians, like, you know, that part of the whole lesbian culture has been really hard for me to understand. Like, my exes, the second we were exes, we were completely out of each other's lives. No more Facebook, no more social media, no more none of that. I don't want to see a picture of me and my ex from a couple of years ago. I don't want my wife to see a picture of her and her ex from a couple of years ago come up on the feed. But that's, maybe I'm insecure, right? Maybe that's my insecurities, but kind of how I want my relationships to go. Not that that's the way that it works for everybody, not that that would work for somebody else, right? So for this gay boy, you've been with him 2 months, okay? In gay years, that's like a year and a half, all right? That's about like a year and a half. But you're still setting up your foundation for your relationship, right? So if he's super comfortable being this close to his ex and having Sunday brunches and all that shit, that might never go away. That might be part of what the relationship would look like for you in the future. So this is your time to get the fuck out, okay? Like, this might not be for you. Okay, this might be this might be an easy conversation with him, right? And maybe it just disappears, but it seems very part of his everyday. I don't see it just disappearing because you go and confront him and say that it makes you feel a certain kind of way. Where are you on this, Jess? Did all of that make sense? Did I get too, like, because it's like. Because it's like I would date girls all the time, and then they'd be like, "Oh, this is my best friend," and I'm like, "Oh, cool, your best friend." And then later on, when we were dating,
I mean, who hasn't at this point? Every friend group, everyone in that friend group, that is just the way
has licked each other's vagina. No.
So okay, for me, I'm sitting down, and I'm like, sometimes, just like what you were saying, it's just having that upfront conversation. Like, just talk to him and tell him where you're at, and say, "Look, for me." Right, speaking from I need space and time to build this foundation with you. And I'm not saying you can't be friends or this and that. I think what would be helpful for me is for us to focus on that and build from there. And then if that friendship is still there, great. But I want us to focus on us. And I know that this might be a block. So if the other person, right, that you've been with is open to that, then great. Go and have a conversation with your ex and say, "Look, I love our friendship. I love our brunches. Great. I'm building something with someone new, and I want to make that a priority, and this is where they're at. And I love you." There we go. Wrap it up with a pretty bow. Well, first of all, definitely always listen to your gut. Your body knows the answer first. Way before your brain.
Isn't that crazy?
It's wild. Your body knows the answer. So if your gut was already saying something's off, just go with it. Trust yourself.
Pay attention to that gut feeling. You know? And like us as girls, like I think we have like that elevated sixth sense, right? And we don't listen.
I was just about to say, it took me so long to finally listen to my gut.
No,
and
now I figure now.
Right.
I don't have the time anymore, Jess. I don't have the fucking time. So now my gut goes like this, and I go, okay, stay away from that person. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, and that's that. You know what I mean? Like, someone says something disrespectful to me, and it's disrespectful to my wife, right? I used to just go, whatever, ha ha ha. Now I go, blink, okay. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Noted.
Exactly. Like, I know how this is, right?
I know how this might go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, women, we're very sensitive. We're very emotional. We're very, I don't want to call us needy. We're not all needy, of course, but like, we need certain things. And sometimes we want to have our cake and eat it too. Okay, and that happens when you're leaving from one relationship into another. But give your present relationship that respect.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a very understandable thing. So if you go to him and say, hey, look, this from a respect standpoint and perspective, here are my boundaries, here's X, Y, and Z, like this is where I'm at. I really want to continue this with you. If you're not open to putting that aside for a little bit, then okay, you know your answer.
Yep.
Don't go wild in your head with it.
And when he tells his ex that, right, because he might not care about you enough to do that. To be completely honest, you've only been in his life 2 months, and I don't know how long he was with his ex, but they've got something. They've got memories. They've got shit that they've been through, right? Yeah. So don't ask him to choose, because you might end up, it might be even worse for you. You know 100%. What I mean? Like right
don't
now,
choose.
Don't tell him to choose, but go into that saying, hey, I'm trying to lay out this foundation. I haven't felt like this for a guy in a while, right? Yeah. He might just say, hey, I'm just into fucking right now. I don't want this. And then now you know where you stand.
There we go.
And we're done.
Hands are clean, yep.
See? Two lesbians can solve all the gay boy problems.
We got you.
I'm just saying. Keep writing and sending in your questions to FayWhat@happeningout.com, because we love it and we want to help as much as possible, all right? And this is an important conversation for our LGBTQ plus community. Help us tell these important stories by liking and subscribing to The FayWhat Show. So that's it. That's the FayWhat Show. You made it through. I hope that you had fun. I had a blast. Thank you so much to the beautiful Miss Jessica Woolverton for being here on the show with me. Wave. And for being my gay in bed for today. You were awesome. Thank you for helping me out. Will you come back?
Absolutely.
All right. We'd love to have Jessica back. Yay! All right. Make sure you follow her on all social media outlets, and also follow the WolfPaX, okay? Because make your mind, body, and spirit better. Why not? Right?
Yep.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And, folks, I'm really passionate about trying to connect the L and the G in our LGBTQ plus community. I got to tell you that sometimes it's hard for us girls, but if we believe we are one strong community, then we must support all the letters of our LGBT and Q plus. We open every show with a nod to Mary Tyler Moore and That Girl's Marlo Thomas. This show is dedicated to a strong LGBTQ plus community. I just encourage you to be a little bit kinder, a little bit funnier, and to embrace our tremendous diversity, because it really is what makes us so damn strong. Until then, make sure you follow me on all social media outlets: Facebook, IG, Blue Sky, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow FayWhat. Don't even think about looking for me on X or Twitter. All right? Until next Tuesday at 9 a.m. live or anytime on demand. I'm FayWhat, and I'm #thatgirl. I wish you a week full of sunshine and rainbows. Please consider fostering or adopting a pet in need. Love you. Stay gay.
Rainbows, gay boys, #that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, #that girl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too?